It really wasn't anything. I mean, there were patches of the trail that existed. For example, we're on the Johnson trolley line. The Johnson trolley line existed, but very few people, except for those who lived adjacent to it, knew about it. And it didn't connect to anything. It is a project developed by the community for the community. The trail is just absolutely beautiful. There are parts of the trail on the ETS campus or the Bristol-Myers Squibb campus that you would not imagine that you're on a corporate facility. And then there are parts of the trail that go through areas that are overlaid by beautiful trees. There are parts of the trail that go around lakes. It's hard to imagine a vista where there isn't a part of the trail that represents the beauty of that natural configuration. Back in 2002, Becky Taylor called me. I was in charge of community relations at ETS, and she proposed this idea of a trail that would connect the 3 Bristol-Myers Squibb campuses and ETS. And I was intrigued by the idea, in part because her call came on a day when I was trying to write a report about the long-term impact of ETS's corporate giving has had on the community. And I really could point to very little. And here was this idea of something very concrete, this trail. And so I said, yes, I would be interested in exploring that idea. Little did I know that 17 years later, I'm still working on that idea.
I was working at Bristol-Myers Squibb back in 2001, and we were looking for ways to demonstrate to our local communities in Lawrence and Hopewell townships our commitment to being good corporate citizens. And we had this idea to link 3 campuses that are within these 2 townships through a trail, and we invited a whole bunch of people from city, county, and state government, and as well as some representatives of the business community and nonprofits.
It's been an interesting ride. Trying to figure out what the LHT was going to be, where it was going to go, navigating the LHT as a different kind of trail, a different path, because this is not the normal route that most trails take. As a public-private partnership, we needed to figure out how this was going to work, how we were going to persuade the underlying landowners to allow the trail on their property, to figure out what the route was going to be. We've learned something from every single piece of trail that we've built.
It really sort of was a great partnership, public and private, a really great way for the municipalities to sort of do some of the lifting that they couldn't do, and then at the same time, you know, being a nonprofit, they could get volunteers and other people and sort of corporate sponsors that the municipalities couldn't get. So to me, it's a sort of a win-win. I mean, it shows how not only the public sector and the private sector can work together, but also 2 different towns that, you know, previously didn't really have a connection to, and this was a way to bring each other together and to get to know each other and sort of really become better neighbors.
I was able to lend my talents and wherewithal, help get through some difficult situations with the trail and figuring out exactly what to do, looking at options, working with the township engineers, which have been great.
One of the secrets to our success, we really feel, is we've worked really hard to establish and maintain really positive relationships with government officials at the local, county, and state level. We think it's really important for us to be working in a collaborative way.
Our residents use the trail hundreds, if not thousands of times a week, out with their friends, with their families, with their dogs, in a beautiful setting, getting much needed peace and fresh air. We are really proud to be partners and look forward to everything that the LHT can help us connect with in the future.
In many ways, the trail would not be possible without the long-term support of County Executive Brian Hughes, who shared our vision from the very beginning. He and his staff at Mercer County have been phenomenal partners.
Well, as soon as I became county executive, I had a meeting with, they asked for a meeting with Becky Taylor and Eleanor Horne, and they came to me representing Bristol Myers Squibb and the Educational Testing Service, and I thought it was a good meeting to have, and I thought they wanted to talk business or some type of zoning law or whatever it may be. And they came to me and they said that they wanted a trail, a walking trail, a biking trail that would connect their 3 campuses at Bristol Myers Squibb and 1 campus at the Educational Testing Service. And quite frankly, I didn't know what to make of that. It was an unusual request from an unusual group. I had never heard of a corporation coming together and trying to sponsor a walking or biking trail before.
The Lawrence Hopewell Trail is a 20-mile loop, or a 22-mile loop, I think, when it's said and done, and it's pretty much 90% complete now, which is remarkable in itself. But not only is it a loop trail in the Lawrence Hopewell communities, it's also connected to a much larger circuit of recreational trails. We're working very closely with the Circuit Coalition that's based out of Philadelphia, who are trying to connect 800 miles of recreational trails in the greater Philadelphia and central New Jersey area.
Now, the interesting thing about circuit trails is that you can get on the Lawrence Hopewell Trail, go over to the Brearley House, get on the DNR Canal towpath, and then go from Maine to Florida. Imagine that. And when the circuit trails are completed, you'll be able to get on the Lawrence Hopewell Trail and travel to the west and connect with the Appalachian Trail. That's an amazing network. We're proud to be a part of circuit trails.
One of my favorite things to do is in the early spring or even in the fall to go through the Mercer Meadows segment, which is probably the largest wildflower meadow in central New Jersey. And to just ride through that landscape at the various times of day and various times of the season, I kind of equate it to standing on the shore where you're looking out and it's constantly changing according to the time of day and to the light. It's just a magical experience to be on the trail. Anytime, anywhere. So I'm hoping people get out there and enjoy it.
We've lived near this tract of land, the AT&T tract, for like 20 years before they started developing the park. And we really had no idea what it was. It was just this big empty field that belonged to AT&T. And then when they started developing it and we learned the history of it, it was phenomenal. That every international phone call went through the pole farm was astounding to me. And the trail, of course, sits on top of the pole farm and Mercer Meadows.
One of our newest facilities we built is down on Princeton Pike. 3401 Princeton Pike is the address. And part of that property contains the Brearley Oak. The Brearley Oak is over 160 years old. It is now on the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection heritage trees. And the trail runs right next to it. So people get to enjoy a little bit of history, a magnificent oak tree, and can walk on the trail. So we are really proud that we made the connection, and we purposely put the trail near the tree where people can enjoy it.
I consistently get thanks for our support of the trail because it is so important to our residents. You know, people live here because this is an incredibly green area, but a green area is only so good if there are no ways to get through it and enjoy it. And the trail provides an incredible way, and different, every section is different.
It's just so varied. In a short 6-mile stretch of this part of the park, you can see so much. And I've taken people on bike rides around the park. We also sometimes go into the equestrian center to see the horses. And it's like, wow, all of this is a mile from my house.
As a former mayor and current councilman in Lawrence, one of the things that's great is to hear the positive feedback from residents about the Lawrence Hopewell Trail. It's one of the ways that they can sort of connect with nature, take their kids out for a walk, bike, jog.
The number of people that use the Lawrence Hopewell Trail and contact me about it almost daily is incredible.
I've been commuting now on the LHT for about 1.5 years, and I go from Pennington, where I live, to Bristol Myers Squibb, the campus that's on Carter Road. So that's about 7.5 miles. I very much enjoy riding on the LHT because it connects me to the environment, connects me to nature. Every day I hear different sounds, I see different things, I smell different things, and it's wonderful.
We have two different kinds of events. We have these major events, which are incredibly awesome, like the Full Moon Ride, where we have hundreds of people come out under a harvest moon in the fall and take a ride in the dark along the trail, which is actually kind of scary and exciting.
Last year we had about 500 people. We run between 300 and 500 people annually. And it's just an amazing event that gets people out on the trail under different circumstances. It's very rare that people get the opportunity to enjoy the trail in the evening, and to get them out under a dark sky with a bright moon is a really special experience.
We also have Trail and Treat, where we really are catering to young families, and children come out with their Halloween costumes and their parents join them, and we do various activities including face painting, as well as some rides and walks for the children. So that's actually cool.
Well, right now, the big thing that the committee is doing is planning more and more activities on the trail. We have the walking club that meets once a month. And one of the other members now organizes a monthly bike ride open to anyone.
The LHT connects people to people, communities to communities, people to the environment, people to history. It allows me to connect. To connect to all these people, etc. And I get so much out of it, and I think it's something that I want to tell people how much you can get out of it, either by commuting on the LHT or simply by going on the LHT on the weekends.
As the county planning director, one of the things that we're very concerned with is connectivity, trying to find ways for residents and visitors to find their way around the county, not just relying on cars. Although transportation planning is something that we do, we think of it more as mobility planning, so it's beyond cars.
It puts together a lot of these riding and biking trails together and connects in many ways Mercer County together in a passive way where we don't need to rely on cars.
Lawrence Hopewell Trail has always focused on creating connections. And this year of 2020, when connections were so hard to come by, the trail offered an amazing opportunity for our residents to get out safely, with a healthy goal in mind, and go see residents of other communities.
My family knows that this is my happy place because I post it all the time. And my family in 2016 decided for a Hanukkah gift to buy me a bench in my honor. So the whole family got together and that was my present.
I just wanted to get on this record to thank Eleanor, to thank Becky, to thank everybody, Leslie Floyd on my staff, who worked so hard to put this trail together and make it such a vital part of what Mercer County is all about.
Sometimes people ask me, why have I spent so many years working on the trail? And one of the reasons I do so is because of my grandson, my grandchildren. When I see my 11-year-old grandson riding the trail, it gives me a kind of joy. I know he's outdoors. I know he's safe. I know he's getting exercise. He is having fun. And when I think that he is doing that, his children will be able to have that same experience. He calls the Lawrence Hopewell Trail Grammy's Trail. And I tell him, so many people made this trail possible, are making this trail possible. And his comeback is, well, Grammy, I only know you, so it's Grammy's Trail. But it is the legacy to community, the fact that future generations will be able to enjoy this trail, to enjoy nature. You know, that's not a bad thing to leave behind.